We got this all messed up. Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Align. No, it's not Align, Untangled. Align 3.0 did come out, so we are starting that next week. This is Untangled, Lori. Untangled episode 53. Welcome. And if you are brand new to this series, what I do in Untangled is I just literally talk about the navigating this human evolution, navigating being human, recognizing that you're not human, but you sure are playing a magnificent role of human, and what it means to be going through everything that we're going through. This fascinating and profound great awakening, stepping out of the dream state. Stepping into and allowing the uncomfortable to become comfortable, really finally, and allowing ourselves to go so deep into the shadow and into the pain and into suffering and into all of these states that we have been programmed to not look at and to not feel, letting them be very normal, really normalizing the profound holy shits of this transformative experience, which is consciousness shifting from one state to another state, the metamorphosis of a caterpillar into a butterfly. How does that even happen? God, I have no idea. But it's what you and I are going through as a consciousness in a physical body. Our physical bodies are literally metamorphosizing right now. Our states of being and how we are being in the human experience are metamorphosizing. We are becoming new over and over and over again. And because I believe that we as a collective species, human species, have never actually gone through what we're going through right now. People can argue that we have. I would say we haven't. We have no idea what we're doing. Literally, we're like, uh, running around with our heads cut off. Like, what are we? How do we do this? Am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? Um, and the beautiful thing about this evolution in consciousness is that at the core of it all is the awareness that we're none of this. And yet, simultaneously, we raised our little hands as consciousness and said, I want to go down into a physical reality and a physical experience that is going to make me believe that I am that physical human, only to walk myself back into the wholeness that I have ever been, which is consciousness. And I've never actually been thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and beliefs. And I'm going to do all of this for the sole purpose of assisting an entire human collective in raising their vibrational and frequency states, knowing the entire time that we are none of it. What? Come again? What are we doing here? Right? It's mind blowing, you guys, as you continue to humbly sit yourself down and courageously look at, with an open heart, what you're actually going through. Jojo B, thank you for the super chat. It's insanity, Sam. All right, before I get going, do you guys like my new backdrop, my little angel wings? A couple of things. My first announcement is Align 3.0 is out and ready for registration. You can register right now. The link is right down below. I've done Align 1.0, I've done Align 2.0, and now we're starting 3.0. For those of you that don't know what Align is, it's a 21-day intensive where you and I sit together every day for 21 days, 30 minutes each day, and we sit in a practice of awareness, stillness, being the observer. It's changed my life completely. It's changed hundreds of people's lives that have done it. And it is the most simple practice of just being in awareness. It breaks you free. You stop running. You start realizing, oh my God, my thoughts and my emotions, not only have they been controlling me, but they're not me. It's just profound. Anyway, we start July 19th. 21 days, 10 a.m. California time, live on Zoom. Replays are available. I always offer scholarships and coupons. If you cannot afford it, whatever you can afford, we make it available to you. 3 bonus Q&As in a private forum. Align 3.0. Super excited for it. This one's going to be very different, you guys. If you've done Align 1.0 to Align 2.0, this one's going to be very, very different. So not very, very different, but it's going to have a different type of style to it. So yes, please join. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you've read all the books and you've done all the courses, and you just continue to find yourself in the same sort of place, I'm telling you, this practice, this very basic, simple practice of awareness will change everything by changing nothing. And it's really bringing ourselves back into this God essence that we are. Thank you, Danny, so much for the super chat. This whole complete isness of being that we are right here, right now, and then right here, right now. And it's not about bypassing, ignoring, or denying what is happening on the planet and within our own being. Quite the opposite. It's really learning how to courageously be in life. Life's the greatest gift. You're not here on accident. You're not here because you want to keep suffering. You're not here because you have to clear some sort of karmic cycle that you've been living in. You're here because you chose it. You're here because you wanted to experience the juiciness of this physical reality. You're here because you wanted to remember that no matter how physical and dense a reality can be, you will still remember that you are this God essence that vibrates and emanates from every other physical form on the planet. And that there are thought forms and emotions and behaviors and patterns that will continue to pull you into this reality and this illusion that you're anything other than this absolute amazing spark of God, which is almost impossible to feel throughout your day. And yet, the more that we can bring ourselves back into that awareness, as awareness, the easier life becomes. It's just how it is. It's changed my entire freaking life. And the crazy thing is that there isn't anything to do. There isn't anything to fix. It's really profound, to be honest with you. And a lot of you guys know I've been going through a really intense cocooning phase the last 5-6 weeks, in a way that I haven't ever in my life before. Like just deep, deep, profound peeling back, I guess, of layers. So courageously that, there were moments where I was like, I'm willing to die in this fire, whatever this is, whatever this trauma is, right? Recognizing and labeling these moments of impact where I became a different version of myself based on a experience in the external world. I started coining it the inception point, right? Inception points being moments in your life where something happened to you in the external world from somebody else or something else. And it was in that moment, that inception point moment, where you grabbed onto new thoughts and you grabbed new emotional states that you couldn't feel all the way through. It was too painful, too much. And so you sort of shut down to whatever emotions those were. And thought forms came in, and these thought forms became your reality. 5 minutes before this event, these thought forms were not who you thought you were. 5 minutes after the event, you are now holding on to a new lens and a new way of seeing the world. And then these thought forms just perpetuate your physical reality throughout the rest of your life. Because we're not aware of what is actually occurring, and we don't necessarily have parents or grandparents or family members that can tell us what's happening. Oh, this is an inception point. Don't worry, it's not true. These thought forms aren't real. What happened to you is just what's happening. It's not you. You're still God in form. You're still whole. You're still complete. You're still safe. You're still worthy, blah, blah, blah. We're not told that. So we take on all these other thought forms. I'm not safe. I'm not worthy. I can't, I'm not lovable. I'm blah, blah, blah. People are always going to hurt me. Whatever the freak these dumb thoughts are that come in, they integrate in. It's an inception point, and off we go the rest of our lives holding on to these thoughts. And the most profound thing about this human experience is that we have never been thought. We've never been emotion. Think about this for a moment, right? Because no matter who you are right now listening to this, most of us believe thought. And on one level of the human experience, your thoughts absolutely, unequivocally create your reality. They just do. Um, and your emotional states um, have the ability to drive and dictate how you feel throughout your day. But if you start recognizing and remembering and practicing that I am not thought, you're not a thought, you're not emotion. Really sit with that for a minute. Not just like, oh, yeah, I know that. No, no, no. Be in that for a moment. You're not any thought that you have. The I that you think you are, that we call ourselves, is this consciousness that will still exist when you have passed, when you are no longer in the human experience, when you die. The I that so many of us try to come back into throughout our lives, the idea of enlightenment or awareness, whatever it is always here. It's right here, right now, and it exists beyond this physical world. It is the only thing that continues on. And I heard this awareness teacher yesterday, Adyashanti, I think his name, and he said this profound thing that really, I'm going to butcher it, but it was pretty profound. This concept, um, yeah, I can talk about fear. This concept of awareness and that you are this awareness no matter where you are in your world and what you've gone through has always been there. So if you think back, and it's a very difficult concept to understand, that there is awareness that is you, that is consciousness, that is um, watching. It's the watcher. And if you think back to your life, no matter what you were going through, he says, there is always this part of you that was always there, the I. There was something familiar that was always you throughout your life that you can kind of tap into. This I. When you were 5 years old, it was just kind of there and you knew it. 12 years old, there was just this I, this part of you that was there. 30 years old, something is still with you. It hasn't left you, right? 45 years old, there's still something there with you that hasn't left you, which is awareness, which is your true essence, which is what all of us are remembering how to come back to in the chaos of everything that's unraveling in this world, you know? Mm-mm. It's not a deja vu. It's it's just the recognition and the remembrance, the feeling state of, wow, this me that I identified as Lori is the same me or the Lori that I identified that was there when I was 5. And it's not the ego or the personality. It's something behind that. There's something behind the ego, behind the personality that has always been with me, right? It's yeah, it's the witness, it's the watcher, the observer. What do you do if life keeps falling apart and no matter how hard you try, you can't make things work? Sometimes the deeper lesson for us is the illusion or the belief that life isn't working for us. And perhaps, Carrie, there is a deeper gift in allowing life to present itself without you trying to make things work. The human can find themselves always trying to stay in control as if they know what's best. And there is a huge amount of efforting when we, the ego and personality, are trying to stay in charge ahead of it because we don't actually want to be in what we're in. And when somebody asked about fear, when you start to just courageously, in a way that you never have before, allow yourself to be in what is arising in your reality as much as you don't want it, you will find yourself in your deepest fear. You will think you're going to die. You will think that you're not creating. You will think that you are just allowing life to be, and that's not a good thing to do. You will think that you're going to be stuck in whatever you're in. You will think that nothing's ever going to change. You will feel like you're giving up. You will feel like, you're just letting your thoughts control you. And you've been told by so many teachers that you have to control your thoughts and you have to positive think your way through and you need to have all these action steps. What is happening to a large majority of the human collective in this evolution right now is stepping into unconsciously or consciously our deepest fears so that we can break free from the illusion that we are anything that we have ever thought we are so that we can be free in this world. And so anytime that you find yourself fighting against, resisting what is, and I've done it myself, and a whole month went by and I was like, finally just stopped trying to get out of the pain and the fear because it was so intense and it was so difficult. It was so challenging. I didn't want to be in this fear. And it was exhausting. It's exhausting trying to get out of. But what you're in, but it makes sense because it's so uncomfortable. But it is these moments where you are bringing a tiny bit of awareness. Holy shit. Nothing's working out for me. Nothing's changing. I'm still in this. I can't seem to get out of this. That's the gift. Stop. What's underneath you trying to pull yourself, swim out of this idea that you're drowning? What's underneath that? And one of the ways you can practice that is, what if I just stopped in this moment? What if I just allowed in this moment? What if I just breathed in this moment? What if I just started observing in this moment? What if I started recognizing and watching how afraid I feel, how much fear I may have, how I do not want to be in this, how I'm nauseous and sick to my stomach, how I feel like I can't go through whatever this is. That's the metamorphosis. That's the actual change that will shift you where you won't ever go back. And so many of us have gotten to we've gotten so close to the actual cataclysmic shift, but we just stop ourselves right before that massive miracle because we're so afraid of whatever that deep fear is. We'll do anything, consciously or unconsciously, anything to not drop deep into what we believe to be the deepest fears that we hold. And yet, those deepest fears are our greatest gifts. And so, when you practice kind of observing, being the witness, watching, being the watcher, right here, right now, there is a watcher watching. You are watching you. In every moment, you're watching you. And it's from the neck down, this experience, not up here in the head, right? It's the neck down. How are you feeling? Where is your breath? Is there spaciousness in this moment? Is there a pause between your thoughts and your emotions and the observer, the watcher? Is there space? Right? Where can you find space where there is seemingly no space? Space or spaciousness is a pause to me. That's what it feels like. It's the moment of nothingness. It's just there, right? It's you can't find it. You can't look for it. The mind can't find space or no space. The mind can't find spaciousness. There isn't a way to get to spaciousness or no space. It's just a felt sense of presence, you know? Yeah, when you breathe, when you slow down, when you find stillness. And stillness doesn't mean that you are not in the world participating. Stillness is just slowing down. What are my thoughts telling me? What emotion am I feeling? What am I doing right now? That's stillness. What we are going through, you guys, is a profound shift in our perception of this physical reality and the holographic world that we live in. It is a reflection of God or awareness. It's like God or awareness is standing in a window, and there is this reflection of God as this human. And God is just sort of smiling, like, ha, look at that illusion of that physical body. Look at what the physical reality is creating, the illusion of what I look like. And this God essence knows that it's just the holographic physical reality. It's not real, even though it's real. And so we came here to be a part of this as physical bodies, standing in it all, but continuously breathing this like God essence through this awareness. And it's not mother freaking easy. It's not. And yet it's the easiest thing to do. Being able to be in this world and to stand in fires over and over and over again and stand in chaos and listen to all the thoughts that want to control you and feel all the emotions that want to move through your body and not grab any of them as you, but just simply observing them. Man, that's where we're going. That's where we're going. What about feeling nothing, really nothing in stillness? That's that's awareness. When you are when you are as awareness, when you're the isness, there is no feeling. There's no thought. It's a profound moment of fuck. Excuse my language. I'm all of this and none of it. So there is no emotion that you feel. There is no thought that you have. There is no voice that comes out. There is no I that is speaking. It's just this consciousness or awareness. It's hard to explain. But yeah, there's none, Sabine. There's no emotion you feel. It all goes away and you're just this essence. It's so hard to describe it until you've dropped in and you find yourself there somehow. Um, and the practice of that, in my experience, the practice is um, being in stillness, quieting your life so that you can just be so aware of your thoughts. Wow, look at what I'm thinking right now. Be aware of your emotions. Wow, look at what I'm feeling right now. The more that we are able to stop and be in the stillness of life, the more inevitable it will be that we will naturally uh, bring ourselves back to awareness. It's the natural process of evolution, in my opinion. It's just like when a baby starts to crawl and then a baby starts to walk. It's the greatest gift that we're going to give ourselves. It's not going to be just for the spiritual teachers that have been practicing this as monks or whatever for years upon years. This is all of us. This is who we all are in every breath, in every second, in every moment. There's no special technique. You don't have to have a special diet. You don't have to live in a special place. You don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to have a certain job. It's fucking God. It's who we all are in every single damn freaking moment. There is no special way. There is no, there is it's absurd to me that the human uh, it's not absurd, but it's very sad to me that the human believes that there are these conditions or ways in which you have to be in order to find the actual essence of God that you are in every single moment that you always have been. All it requires is stillness. Just shut up for a second, get still, be aware of your thoughts, be aware of your emotions. Try not to get rid of your thoughts. Don't ever get rid of your thoughts. Don't try to silence your thoughts. Don't try to quiet your thoughts. Don't try to stop an emotion. Don't try to do anything with emotion. Just stop doing anything at all. Just be. Set your alarm for 5 minutes and just sit and be. Listen to an Eckhart Tolle meditation for 15 minutes and just be. I promise you, you will all of a sudden start to become aware of the badass God essence that you have always been when you stop trying to find it or figure it out or fix yourself. Thanks, Carlos, for the super chat. Yeah, I've never listened to Rupert Spira, but I heard he's amazing. Ariana, you're not broken and you're not stuck. Who's the one that thinks they're broken and who's the one that thinks they're stuck? Who is the one that thinks they're broken? Who is the one that thinks they're stuck? Get curious about that. Observe the one that thinks they're broken. Observe the one that thinks they're stuck. Observe. Get curious about that part of you, that expression of you. What happens when we start to really explore or inquire about I'm stuck, I'm broken. First of all, you will start to see yourself arguing for that. No, I am stuck, and I'll tell you all the reasons why I'm stuck. No, I am broken. I'm going to show you. Okay, who's the one arguing for that? Is that really true? Yeah, it's really true. Why? Because it's appearing, because it's what's happening in my physical reality. But what if it's not? What if it's not true? What if it's not you? Well, then who am I? The watcher. What the hell does that mean? It means you're watching the you that thinks you're broken. Thanks, Richard. So much for that super chat. Well, then how do I fix it if I don't recognize that I'm broken? There's nothing to fix. What do you mean there's nothing to fix? Of course there's something to fix. No, not as the watcher. The watcher is watching and saying, interesting. Look at what you're experiencing as the human. Okay, what else? But I don't like it. Exactly. What if you're okay? What if you breathe into, I'm broken? What if you wrap your arms around the one that thinks they're broken? What if you listened to the one that thinks she or he is broken? What if you didn't make the one that thinks he or she is broken wrong or bad? Instead, you just started allowing the broken one to be there. Never going to get out of this, okay? What if you wrapped your arms around that? The you that thinks you're never going to get out of this? What if you breathed into that for a moment? Instead of arguing for it, fighting against it, pushing it out the door because it doesn't belong. What if you dropped deeper into it because it's not you? The watcher is watching the you that is so attached to that it thinks it needs to fix it or change it. And really, it's just part of the movie. It's just what's showing up in the scene. And sometimes we need to just sit down and have a moment of breath and a moment of looking up. Stop running on that treadmill over and over and over and over. And just drop. Watch how much efforting you have been doing in your life. The change that we are trying to do occurs when we stop trying to change. Humans have the hardest time believing that. The moment we stop trying to fix and fight and go against life by being in control of it and changing it and doing all these things to get out of it is the moment that actual, true transformative change occurs. When we start practicing in these little baby steps ways to stop attaching to I'm not good enough, I'm stuck in this, um, I'm this, I'm that. You recognize that attachment to that, which again occurred in some previous moment as an inception point. Something happened to you where these thoughts went in as forms and took over your who you thought you were. And then you just started living these thoughts that are now imploding in you. What's being asked by these thoughts that are imploding over and over again, like internal bombs, is to recognize what's been controlling you as you, which is not you. What's getting louder and louder and louder in your head? What's getting more and more impossible to ignore? What emotions are getting so intense that there's nothing left to do but feel it. But you're so afraid to feel it, you're still grabbing anything outside of you. What are the thoughts that are literally driving you crazy? That you believe 1000% is true. You will argue it with me over and over. What are those thoughts? I promise you, those thoughts came in as an inception point at some point along your human journey, most likely between the ages of 0 and 10, probably younger. And you are being asked by you to see them, recognize them, allow them, let them go by just watching and dropping deeper into what's underneath those thoughts. The watcher, the observer, awareness, spaciousness, peace. And I'm not going to pretend that this is easy, but if you commit to this, if you commit to this type of practice, if you start remembering what's happening here, this is the awakening. Awakening out of the illusion and out of the dream is not about you controlling everything, you manifesting all of these great things, you taking control of your mind and your thoughts. Awakening out of this dream is letting go of all of it. That there isn't anything to control. There isn't anything that you have to force or fix. There isn't it's all the illusion, the stage. And yet you're on the stage playing the human experience, the human person. It's very real. And the awakening is learning how to integrate and balance awareness, this God essence that you are none of the thoughts, emotions, behaviors, beliefs, etc. And you are playing in a reality where thought and emotion, belief, programs, relationships exist. Right? And the reason that we are gifted these opportunities right now to awaken, all of us are. You don't have to be some yogi guru dude in the mountains of the Himalayas, practicing under some guru. You get to be the mother with 3 kids running around and trying to take your kids to soccer practice and get food on the table, or the husband that is working 2 jobs in order to support their family or whatever it is. That's who gets to awaken. That's who is awakening. What do we do? Just feel love and compassion? You feel all of it, Tina. You feel whatever arises. You don't try to just feel something. You just it's all experienced. Oh, look, I'm feeling anger today. Okay, well, I'm not anger. Who's the one feeling anger? Well, the Lori that has a personality and ego and is identified as this human is feeling anger. Okay. Am I anger? No. Anxiety. Who's feeling anxiety? Am I anxiety? Am I anxious? No, you're not. You are an observer. You are the watcher. I'm watching. I'm a watcher. And there is a Lori that's on a stage playing in the ego and a personality that is experiencing anxiety. The more that you practice this shift in awareness, this shift in your lens, it's not about, oh, I need to only feel love or compassion or kindness. Love is always right here, right now. Compassion is always right here, right now. Kindness is always right here, right now. Joy is always right here, right now. So too is every other emotion that you can feel. And when you're in a state of flow of just being in life, being in the river, in the ocean, bopping up and down, you're going to feel it all. The gift of being free in this world is that none of it's you, so none of it matters. Whatever you're feeling is just what is moving through the physical body. It could never and can never be you. And it doesn't have any control over you because it's not you. So, this whole idea that we should feel certain things but not other things is separation from wholeness, from God that you are. The God essence is like, what else is the human experiencing? What else is the you that you think you are feeling, moving through in the body? And because the human experience, you guys, is so intense, it's so it's so supercharged. We can sit here right now and sort of have this dialogue and this experience and this deeper remembrance, and then boom, we go out and it's like we just get pummeled. We get pummeled with thought, we get pummeled with fears, we get pummeled with what's happening out there in the world. And so it's not about running from that world. It's not about getting rid of or not being in that world. It's about realizing that in that world, in this inner world and in the outer world, awareness is right here. God essence is right here, breathing through me, breathing through me. And the only reason why this is so freaking important, I think it's the most important thing that any freaking human can do, is bring themselves back into wholeness through awareness without fixing or changing themselves, without bypassing any thought or emotion or behavior, but being in the human experience, all of the human experience, devouring the human experience as the awareness that they have always been, so that you have the ability to impact humanity through that state of being. We're not here to be the me, the I, what else is happening with me? It's all about me. It's all about I. It's all about, my own inner world. And no, it's not. It's actually all about humanity and all the other living beings on the planet. That's what it's about. But you are here to remember, first and foremost, to be in your highest expression, to be in the highest impact, to go inward and start really inquiring and investigating who you thought you were your entire life and what is still controlling you: thoughts, emotions, patterns, behaviors. So that you can remember the deeper you, which is that wholeness, which is awareness, which is the God essence, which is beingness, over and over and over again, a million times a day, so that you can step out into the world and be that for the hundreds of millions of humans and other beings out there and creatures and animals and whatever, so that you can change the world. None of what we are doing right now is for ourselves. It's all for the impacting of humanity and the other creatures, beings, animals, etc. Open up to it, Ariana. You're not just those thoughts. You want to get real. You want to really inquire about your thoughts. Put them down. Write down the thoughts. Get curious about your thoughts. Get really curious about the thoughts. Yeah, my watcher hurts for my inner child. You know, when you start being aware of your inner child, you start holding compassion for your inner child or inner childs, the ones that experienced these inception points. It's really powerful when you have um, when you can really embrace him or her, when you can wrap your arms around him or her. Right, one of the most powerful exercises that I did a couple of weeks ago. I'm pretty sure I talked about it. I know I talked about it. If I didn't talk about it here on Untangled, I talked about it in my Patreon community. But when you can go back to an inception point when you were a certain age and you remember sort of it having a big impact on you, and you can go back as this adult version of you kind of watching you, the little girl or the little boy, there is such a deep compassion you can have for yourself and you can have for your inner child. And, um, you can speak to that inner child and say, I've got you now. You're going to be okay. You're safe. Sorry you went through that. It was never your fault. Um, all the that you thought you were in that moment aren't true. I'm going to take care of you and I'm going to show you, right? Really sitting and doing that kind of an exercise is profound because there are inner children within us that are still driving our reaction and response to the world. This inner child doesn't believe it's safe to be here. It doesn't believe that it's worthy of love. It doesn't believe that it can have peace. It doesn't believe that it believes that without effort you're not going to get anything. It believes that everybody's going to turn their back on you. It believes there's all these things that your beautiful inner child believes and is still kind of leading you through in life. As much as the kind of adult version of you is trying to make different changes, this inner child is screaming that it doesn't trust the world. This inner child is screaming, no, you don't understand. I'm not worthy. This inner child is saying, no, you don't get it. I'm not accepted for who I am. This inner child is screaming, no, I have guilt and shame for the things that I have done in this world. No, you don't understand. Being me isn't okay. So these inner childs that we have within us, they need and deserve to be held and heard and honored. They're not you. They're not the actual reality of what's happening right now in your physical world, but they're loud. Thank you so much for the super chat, Howl of the Heart podcast. They're loud and they want to be seen, they want to be held, they want to be told it's okay. Go in there, go back, go sit for a second. And then come back to this now and realize that you're none of that. You're not the adult that you are right now. You're not the inner child, but this is part of the human game. You got to play in this. Awareness, the watcher is like, bitch, your inner child that you don't want to acknowledge, that's part of this game, part of this scene, part of this movie, needs you to take a look at it. Just part of what happens here in the human experience. Have you forgotten? Go back and chill out with your inner child for a second, right? Awareness is just sitting there like, complete stillness, calm, compassion, love, sort of compassion, but just deep love. And you, the human, is like, why am I like this? Why am I like this? I can't figure this out. I can't stop this. I'm like, well, maybe you need to go and inquire about what happened to you when you were 3 years old and just take a look. Maybe you just need to get a little bit quieter so you can hear all the insane thoughts that are continuing to drive your world. You know? It's profound. Pro freaking found. Any other questions before we get going? We're almost done. I love a guy who chose someone else. How do I release him? Choose you, Sierra. Choose you. Choose you, choose you, choose you, choose you. And start to get curious as to why you're not choosing you. Right? So it's not so much about trying to release him. It's more about how do I choose myself? Like really sit with that for a second. How do I choose me? Because when we are looking outward, how do I let this person go? How do I release this person? How do I get them out of my life? There's still this external focus. And the deeper question is, how do I choose me? And when you start saying, how do I just choose me? The releasing of this person goes away. It doesn't matter. You don't have to release them or let them go because by you choosing you, that naturally happens. It just naturally happens. Choose me. Choose. Why am I not choosing me? Why is my focus still out there on trying to figure out why it didn't happen or what could have happened with that person or were they the one or why didn't they choose me or how do I let them go now? How do I get them out of my mind? How do I release them? It's all external. No. How do I choose me? Am I choosing me? Why am I not choosing me? What does it feel like to choose me? Choose me. Choose Sierra. Choose Sierra. If he won't come get his stuff out of your apartment, I don't know, box it up and who cares? Go put it somewhere. I'm confused. How are we none of it while simultaneously recognizing what parts of us are speaking and having those thoughts? Because you're both of it, Laura. That's the paradox. That's what's so mind blowing and kind of the the mind screw of this whole reality is that you aren't any of it. You aren't the inner child. You aren't the adult. You aren't the human that you think you are as Laura. You're not thought, you're not emotion, you're not behavior. There is behind all of that, there is this essence that has always been here. Awareness. It's the essence that dropped into your physical body. If I were to say to you, Laura, when you die, what happens? Do you go somewhere? Is there a spirit in you? Do you have a soul? Does something leave the physical body, or are you simply just organs? Are you simply just this physical body? Are you only the mind and this construct of ego? Or is there something else bigger than this idea of the human personality and physical body? Is there a spirit? Is there a soul? Yes or no? Does something leave the body? Yes or no? Or do you simply dissolve into the earth with as a physical form? And if you say, no, there is something that's here, there is a soul, there is a spirit. If you are in the religious community and you believe in a heaven, who goes to heaven? Physical body doesn't go to heaven. So who goes to heaven? If you're in the spiritual community and you believe in a higher self, you believe in a soul, you believe in a spirit, who is that? We don't actually go into the depths of what we're actually believing. Is it your thoughts that leave and go somewhere? Is it your emotions that leave and go somewhere? No. Is it your is what leaves, and go watch some near death experiences and you'll see. What leaves is your essence, your consciousness, your spirit. So what's here right now? Your essence, your consciousness, your spirit. So how does that integrate into this physical reality? Because it's not physical. How does it be in all of this? It's the watcher, it's the observer, it's awareness. It's here at every single moment, while the you, that's the personality and the ego that believes that it's this physical reality, plays the game. Does this make sense, Laura? If you can simply just say to yourself, what dies? Which doesn't die, but what happens when my physical body stops? Do I dissolve into the earth, or is there a part of me, an aspect, something that actually leaves the physical form? And then when you can start to tap into that, then it becomes, wait a second. Hold on a second. I love all the religious people because, the ones that are real Christians and real Catholics and like believe that there's a heaven and a hell, because the beautiful piece of that is like, wow, so you believe in awareness. That's awesome. You believe in oneness and wholeness. Cool. If you have any sort of belief that there is something outside of this physical reality that departs it, then you are remembering that you're consciousness, that you are light. Thank you, Danielle Harper, for the super chat. Right? I'm telling you, we get so caught up. Um, Thank you so much, Sandy Palms, for the super chat as well. Yeah, we get caught up, and it's really fascinating when you stop for a moment and just say, wait a second, let's simplify this. Let's bring this to the most simplest place. Who is the I that dies? Who is the I that leaves? And where is that I right here, right now? And then start living from that place, not just having the understanding of it. Start living from. If you can remind yourself throughout your day, holy shit, who's the one that departs this body when I die? If you can just do that small little remembrance, you'll drop in. Holy shit, I'm not my thoughts. Oh my God, I'm not these emotions. Because there's something bigger than me that departs the physical body when my physical body gives out. And that's right here, right now. What is that? Where is that? Who is that? What does that feel like? It doesn't go anywhere. You don't have to find it. You don't have to be a certain way. You don't have to be in a certain fucking vibration. You don't have to have certain emotions. You don't have to think certain stupid thoughts. You don't have to have specific behaviors. You don't have to be freaking healed. It's your freaking birthright as consciousness. It's right here, right now, no matter who you are, what you think, what you feel, what you do. None of that shit matters. God is right here watching you as you. And this God is going to depart when your body gives out. So stop trying to fix the human you that isn't even you. Let the actual God essence that you are embrace all of the human you with compassion and relax. Relax a little bit more into the human experience, into the human you. There's nothing freaking wrong with you. Nothing. You're just caught in the illusion that you are this human. That's all. Thank you, Pearl, for the super chat. Thank you so much. You don't bring any of it with you. And none of it's you. It's all a game. It's all a gift. It's all remembering. You don't get to take a person with you. You don't take thoughts with you. You don't take emotions with you. You don't take patterns with you. You don't take kindness with you. You take none of it with you. Every moment of every day is an opportunity to remember that you are this God essence inside this holographic physical reality that is the illusion. And the more that you pop out of the illusion, pop into the beingness that you are, the more you will enjoy this mother freaking game. You will enjoy it. You will stop saying, I am stuck. I am this. I am that. No, you're freaking not. You're having an experience that's making you feel that way, but it's not you. The you that believes that is in the illusion. Where's the essence of you that departs the physical body when your physical body dies? Where's that part when you're feeling stuck? Tap into that. Okay, there we go. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Please, if you have not hit the little like button, the little thumbs up, please hit it because it helps the algorithm and it helps people to see these videos. So please hit the like button, the thumbs up button. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to it, and pass this video on to others. Just hit the little watch this. If somebody is suffering, struggling, trying to figure things out, sometimes it's just a little word or a little sentence that can catapult someone, shift someone. So many times we watch things and we're like, oh my God, this is helping me so much, but we don't think about passing it on to somebody else. Like, pass these videos on and share them, share them, share them, share them. That's what we're here to do, be the domino effect, the change within ourselves and the change within others, and the change being, holy shit, who am I really? Who am I really? Where do I go when I die? And who is the I that's going anywhere? All right, you guys, thanks for being here. Also, Align 3.0 is up and ready to go. We start July 19th. You can register for Align 3.0 right down below. There's also a video that describes it. It's profound. It will change your life. Changed mine, continues to change mine. I love you. I'll see you next Tuesday for Untangled, episode 54. In the meantime, be gentle with yourself, be gentle with others, and see the holographic illusion of this physical reality. You're not your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, beliefs, patterns, etc. Mwah.